Strength does not arrive politely. It crashes into your life the moment you stop negotiating with your weakness. If you are tired of collapsing under pressure, tired of looking steady on the outside while feeling fragile on the inside, tired of avoiding the challenges you know you must face, then this is your turning point. Inner strength isn't luck, genetics, or mystery. It is built the second you decide you will no longer run. Real strength is not born on easy days. It forms quietly, in private, when no one is watching you push through fatigue, discipline your mind, and rise after failing. It forms in the promises you keep to yourself, the ones no one else will ever know you broke. Strength begins the moment you decide your excuses have shaped your life long enough. Most people think strength is surface toughness, but surface toughness shatters the moment life stops cooperating. True inner strength begins inside, in your mindset, your habits, your discipline, and your response when everything feels unpredictable. This audiobook will show you that architecture, not hype, not empty motivation, but grounded, repeatable action that reshapes your identity. Because strength isn't only mental, it's energetic. Every choice you make sends signals through your nervous system. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, truth over denial, presence over avoidance, your inner world rewires itself. Your energy concentrates, your mind steadies. You become someone who holds firm in a world built to shake you. Here, you'll learn how to take control of your life now, not later. How to build discipline through discomfort. How to protect your focus. How to face pain instead of fleeing it. How to stay calm in chaos. Speak truth to yourself. Break the habits that weaken you. Stand tall under fear. Move without motivation. And live every day with purpose. This introduction is not here to comfort you. It is here to awaken you to the stronger version of yourself waiting beneath distraction, fear, and delay. Your real work begins now. If you're ready to rise above the noise, like the video, it tells YouTube you're choosing awareness over autopilot. Subscribe now, and don't miss the next chapter in your evolution. And remember, the deepest transformation belongs to those who stay until the very end. Chapter 1. Take control of your life, right now. If you want to build inner strength, everything begins with one decision. You take control of your life today. Not when things feel easier. Not when you finally feel ready. Not when circumstances improve or the world becomes kinder. Strength starts the moment you stop giving your power to excuses, to blame, to delay, to the belief that someone else will eventually save you from the weight you don't want to carry. Most people drift. They move through days on autopilot, doing what feels comfortable, waiting for something external to change the direction of their life. They wait for motivation, for clarity, for permission. But waiting has never built strength. Waiting keeps you soft. Waiting keeps you small. Waiting keeps you in a life that doesn't reflect the potential you already know you have. No one is coming to live your life for you. No one is going to take responsibility for the choices you avoid. No one else will fix what you continue to ignore. And as long as you keep handing over your control to fear, to doubt, to distractions, to people who don't carry your best interest, you will stay stuck. Inner strength begins with accountability, with the courage to say, "This is my life, my choices, my consequences, my direction, and I am responsible for all of it." That single shift changes everything, because the moment you take responsibility, you take back power. When you blame, you lose power. When you wait, you lose power. When you hope circumstances somehow rearrange themselves, you give away the authority of your own life. But the moment you claim ownership, Your mind reorganizes. Your energy sharpens. Your body responds. Responsibility signals to your entire system. We are not victims. We are creators. Taking control doesn't mean your problems disappear. It means your problems stop defining you. It means you stop saying, "I can't because of what happened," and start saying, "I will because I've decided to." That shift in language changes how you walk into your day. It changes the tone of your thoughts. It changes how you treat yourself when life pushes back. Strength is not built by pretending things are easy. It is built by deciding that difficulty is not a reason to stop. It is built by acting, even when your emotions resist. It is built by refusing to let circumstances dictate your direction. And that is where most people fall. They want control without responsibility, power without discipline, progress without discomfort. But life doesn't work that way. You take control by taking control of your time. Time is your proof of priorities. Most people waste their mornings, drift through their afternoons, collapse into their nights wondering why they feel unfulfilled. You want strength? Reclaim your hours. Give your attention only to what builds you. Remove what drains you. Use your time like it matters, because it is the one currency you never get back. Taking control also means you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending that you're satisfied with less than what you're capable of. You stop pretending that later is a strategy. You stop pretending that comfort will ever lead to pride. Deep down, you already know you want more. You want to feel proud of the life you're building. You want to trust yourself. You want results that only come from responsibility, not from wishing. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need the full picture. You don't need more confidence or more information. You need action. Because action creates clarity. Action builds momentum. Momentum builds strength. And strength transforms everything. Start where you are, with what you have, with the choices in front of you today. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more outsourcing your life to circumstances you can't control. Decide that you will lead your life, not observe it. Decide that you will be the cause, not the consequence. Decide that you will not let another year pass while telling the same story about why you haven't begun. People may not understand your change. They don't need to. Growth requires a different level of responsibility than comfort ever will. Let others drift if they choose. You are here to rise. You are here to take control. You are here to stop giving away your power to things that do nothing to build you. When you take control of your life, your habits shift, your mindset shifts, your energy shifts, and people around you feel that shift without you saying a word. Because a person who takes full responsibility carries a different presence, calm, clear, grounded, powerful. This is the foundation of immense inner strength, and it begins the moment you stop waiting and start leading yourself. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Chapter 1. Take control of your life right now. If you want to build inner strength, everything begins with one decision. You take control of your life today. Not when things feel easier. Not when you finally feel ready. Not when circumstances improve or the world becomes kinder. Strength starts the moment you stop giving your power to excuses, to blame, to delay, to the belief that someone else will eventually save you from the weight you don't want to carry. Most people drift. They move through days on autopilot, doing what feels comfortable, waiting for something external to change the direction of their life. They wait for motivation, for clarity, for permission. But waiting has never built strength. Waiting keeps you soft. Waiting keeps you small. Waiting keeps you in a life that doesn't reflect the potential you already know you have. No one is coming to live your life for you. No one is going to take responsibility for the choices you avoid. No one else will fix what you continue to ignore. And as long as you keep handing over your control to fear, to doubt, to distractions, to people who don't carry your best interest, you will stay stuck. Inner strength begins with accountability, with the courage to say, "This is my life, my choices, my consequences, my direction, and I am responsible for all of it." That single shift changes everything. Because the moment you take responsibility, you take back power. When you blame, you lose power. When you wait, you lose power. When you hope circumstances somehow rearrange themselves, you give away the authority of your own life. But the moment you claim ownership, your mind reorganizes. Your energy sharpens. Your body responds. Responsibility signals to your entire system. We are not victims. We are creators. Taking control doesn't mean your problems disappear. It means your problems stop defining you. It means you stop saying, "I can't because of what happened," and start saying, "I will because I've decided to." That shift in language changes how you walk into your day. It changes the tone of your thoughts. It changes how you treat yourself when life pushes back. Strength is not built by pretending things are easy. It is built by deciding that difficulty is not a reason to stop. It is built by acting even when your emotions resist. It is built by refusing to let circumstances dictate your direction. And that is where most people fall. They want control without responsibility, power without discipline, progress without discomfort. But life doesn't work that way. You take control by taking control of your time. Time is your proof of priorities. Most people waste their mornings, drift through their afternoons, collapse into their nights wondering why they feel unfulfilled. You want strength? Reclaim your hours. Give your attention only to what builds you. Remove what drains you. Use your time like it matters, because it is the one currency you never get back. Taking control also means you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending that you're satisfied with less than what you're capable of. You stop pretending that later is a strategy. You stop pretending that comfort will ever lead to pride. Deep down, you already know you want more. You want to feel proud of the life you're building. You want to trust yourself. You want results that only come from responsibility, not from wishing. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need the full picture. You don't need more confidence or more information. You need action. Because action creates clarity. Action builds momentum. Momentum builds strength. And strength transforms everything. Start where you are, with what you have, with the choices in front of you today. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more outsourcing your life to circumstances you can't control. Decide that you will lead your life, not observe it. Decide that you will be the cause, not the consequence. Decide that you will not let another year pass while telling the same story about why you haven't begun. People may not understand your change. They don't need to. Growth requires a different level of responsibility than comfort ever will. Let others drift if they choose. You are here to rise. You are here to take control. You are here to stop giving away your power to things that do nothing to build you. When you take control of your life, your habits shift, your mindset shifts, your energy shifts, and people around you feel that shift without you saying a word. Because a person who takes full responsibility carries a different presence. Calm, clear, grounded, powerful. This is the foundation of immense inner strength. And it begins the moment you stop waiting and start leading yourself. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Chapter 2. Step out of survival mode and into creator mode. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they stay locked in survival mode, reactive, overwhelmed, constantly waiting for a better moment to begin their real life. Survival mode teaches you to endure, but it never teaches you to grow. It keeps you watching your life instead of shaping it. It keeps you hoping for change instead of creating it. And if you want inner strength, you must step out of that state and step into a new one. Creator mode. Survival mode is subtle. It feels normal because you've lived in it for years. It looks like waiting for motivation to strike. It looks like scrolling for inspiration instead of acting on your own ideas. It looks like thinking, just one more day. I'll start tomorrow. It looks like letting fear guide your choices. It looks like shrinking your life to the size of your doubts. And it destroys strength one quiet day at a time. Creator mode, however, is the opposite. Creator mode begins with responsibility, but it grows through intention. It is a way of living where you stop waiting for signs and you become the sign. You stop waiting for clarity, and your actions create clarity. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you turn the moment you're in into the perfect one to begin. In creator mode, you stop reacting to life and start designing it. The truth is simple. If you don't lead your life will lead you. And most people let their circumstances, their fears, or the expectations of others take the driver's seat. They wake up each day hoping for direction, hoping for momentum, hoping for courage to appear on its own. But courage is not something you receive. Courage is something you practice. Strength is not something you inherit. Strength is something you build. When you stay in survival mode, your nervous system becomes trained to react to possibility as if it were danger. Every new opportunity feels threatening. Every challenge feels overwhelming. Every risk feels like a warning. You feel stuck because your internal system is wired for protection, not creation. But when you start taking small, intentional actions, even when you're uncertain, you begin to retrain your entire inner world. Your mind learns that you are safe while moving forward. Your body learns that discomfort doesn't equal danger. Your energy shifts from fear into possibility. Creator mode is not about having everything figured out. It's about choosing action, even when you don't. It's about deciding that your future deserves movement, not hesitation. It's about replacing "what if it goes wrong" with "what if this is the decision that changes everything?" It's about understanding that nothing in your life will shift until you shift. Most people wait for permission. They wait for someone else to validate their dreams. They wait for circumstances to align, as if life needs to present them with a perfect opening to begin becoming who they want to be. But waiting is just another form of fear. Permission is something you give yourself. Direction is something you create. The moment you stop waiting for the right conditions and start acting with the conditions you have, you step into power. And the moment you step into power, something else happens. Your energy becomes magnetic. Your decisions become clearer. Your confidence grows not from hype, but from evidence. Evidence that you are capable. Evidence that you can move even when afraid. Evidence that you don't need ideal conditions to grow. Every small decision toward creation becomes a signal to your mind. We are not stuck anymore. And your life begins to reflect that shift. This is why stepping into creator mode is non-negotiable if you want inner strength. Strength demands direction. Strength demands intention. Strength demands that you stop letting your past dictate your next step. Strength demands that you stop calling your fears logic and start seeing them for what they are. Old survival patterns that no longer match the life you want to build. You step into creator mode by making one simple decision. The rest of your life will not look like the part where you were waiting. You will choose your direction. You will choose your actions. You will choose the identity you want to embody. And you will reinforce it day by day through choice, discipline, and conscious intention. Survival mode keeps you asleep with your eyes open. Creator mode wakes you up. Survival mode keeps you safe, but stagnant. Creator mode stretches you, but frees you. Survival mode gives you reasons. Creator mode gives you results. And the moment you choose to shift, everything in you begins to reorganize around that choice. Step out of survival. Step into creation. Your life will follow the direction you set. Chapter 3. Discipline. Do what is uncomfortable daily. If you want real strength, you must stop building your life around comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it weakens you over time. It makes you settle. It makes you soft. It makes you choose the easy road again and again, until you wake up one day wondering why nothing in your life has changed. Discipline is the opposite. Discipline is the choice that builds you. It is the decision to do what is uncomfortable on purpose, every single day. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you train. You train it when you wake up early, even though your body wants to stay in bed. You train it when you move your body, even when your mind insists on taking a day off. You train it when you stick to your plan, instead of slipping back into the patterns you know are destroying your potential. Every time you choose what is necessary instead of what is easy, you add a layer to your strength. Most people make decisions based on how they feel in the moment, and feelings lie. They tell you to skip the work, delay the effort, break the promise, take the shortcut. They whisper, later, and not today, and you've done enough. And if you obey those feelings, you lose control over your life. You drift. You regress. You break trust with yourself. But the moment you stop letting feelings lead and start acting based on standards, everything changes. Standards are higher than moods. Standards don't disappear when you're tired. Standards don't bend because you don't feel like it. Standards hold you to the level you know you're capable of. And discipline is the bridge between your standards and your actions. There is a specific moment each day when discipline is forged. The moment when resistance appears. That instant, you want to postpone the task. That second, you feel the urge to avoid. That pull toward comfort. That voice suggesting you relax instead of move. That is the exact place where strength is built. If you push through that moment, even for a minute, you reinforce a powerful message in your mind. I lead. My feelings don't. And your entire inner world responds to that message. Every time you choose discipline, your mind becomes sharper. Your emotional noise becomes quieter. Your self-respect grows. You begin to trust yourself because you've collected proof that you can follow through. And trust in yourself is one of the purest forms of inner strength. Discipline is not dramatic. It is not loud. You will not be applauded for it. No one will clap for the early mornings, the hard choices, the quiet effort. But this is the work that builds a foundation no one can see, until the results become impossible to ignore. Discipline is private, but the transformation it creates becomes public. Your mind becomes stronger through repetition. Your body becomes stronger through resistance. Your identity becomes stronger through consistency. And discipline touches all three at once. There is a scientific truth beneath this. Each disciplined action creates new neural pathways, tiny roots in the brain that make future discipline easier. Over time, you won't need to fight yourself just to do the basics. You will have trained your mind to move even when motivation is absent. You will have conditioned your nervous system to stay steady in discomfort. You will have built discipline into your identity. Excuses ruin that identity. That little voice that says, "Tomorrow, it's not urgent, you're tired, skip it today," is not harmless. It is the doorway back to the weaker version of yourself. And every time you obey that voice, you reinforce it. You make it stronger. You make it your default. Discipline is built by shutting that voice down, not with force, but with action. Action is the cure for excuses. Action is the medicine for doubt. Action is the accelerator of strength. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Small habits compound. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Read a few pages. Move your body for a short session. Clean your space. Keep a promise to yourself. These acts may look insignificant, but they rewire your self-image. They create momentum. And momentum is powerful because once it begins, it wants to continue. And when discipline becomes your default, you stop negotiating with weakness. You stop questioning your ability. You stop feeling controlled by your moods. Each day, you do one uncomfortable thing, not because you enjoy it, but because it builds you. And nothing you build from discipline can ever be taken from you. You want strength? Do what is uncomfortable daily. That is where the real transformation begins. And that is where most people stop. But you won't. Chapter 4. Turn discipline into identity and nervous system power. Discipline becomes unstoppable the moment it stops being something you try to do and becomes part of who you are. Most people approach discipline like an event, something they summon only when they feel inspired or when life becomes uncomfortable enough to force change. But inner strength is not built from occasional effort. It is built when discipline becomes identity, when the way you act aligns with the person you have decided to become. At first, discipline feels like friction. You fight yourself. You resist the routine. You argue with the voice that tells you to get up, to stay focused, to follow through. But with repetition, something shifts beneath the surface. Your brain begins to form new pathways, automatic routes that support the choices you want to make. What once felt heavy, now feels natural. What once felt forced begins to feel like the only way to live. This shift is not motivation. It is neuroplasticity, the rewiring of your mind through consistent action. And while your mind rewires, your nervous system adapts. Each time you follow through on a commitment, especially when it's inconvenient, your system learns that you are reliable, that you are stable, that you are the one in charge. Your body stops reacting with panic or avoidance every time you face discomfort. Instead, it recognizes the pattern. We do hard things. We don't run. And the fear response begins to weaken. Your tolerance for pressure increases. Your emotional reactivity decreases. You become grounded, steady, centered. This is why discipline spills into every area of life. You may start with something simple: waking up earlier, training consistently, sticking to a schedule. But soon you notice that other parts of your life begin to transform. The discipline you build in one area strengthens your focus in another. The integrity you practice in small tasks elevates the way you handle bigger responsibilities. The commitment you practice daily becomes a signal to your mind. This is who we are now, and your identity begins to match your actions. Most people think identity shapes behavior, But the truth is the opposite. Behavior shapes identity. When you repeatedly choose the responsible action, you become a responsible person. When you repeatedly choose the disciplined action, you become a disciplined person. When you repeatedly choose the harder path, the path that nurtures your growth instead of your comfort, you build an identity that cannot be shaken by moods or temporary doubt. This is where strength becomes self-sustaining. You no longer wake up asking yourself, "Will I follow through today?" You already know the answer. Your actions don't depend on inspiration. They depend on alignment. You stop treating discipline as effort and begin treating it as truth. The truth of who you are, the truth of how you live, the truth of the future you're building one decision at a time. And beneath that truth is something even deeper: energy alignment. Every disciplined choice tightens your internal field. You stop leaking energy through procrastination, hesitation, indecision, or regret. Your mental energy becomes cleaner. Your emotional energy becomes calm. Your physical energy feels directed instead of scattered. When your actions, thoughts, and intentions all move in the same direction, your entire system becomes powerful. People feel it in your presence: the quiet confidence, the grounded strength, the clarity that only comes from internal alignment. That's why disciplined people move differently. They speak differently. They hold themselves differently. Their mind is not in a constant battle with itself. Their emotions don't run wild. Their energy doesn't fluctuate with every small setback. They have trained themselves into stability, and that stability becomes a form of power. This power doesn't rely on circumstances. It doesn't depend on motivation. It doesn't vanish when life becomes difficult. It is rooted deep in your habits, in your mind, in your nervous system. It becomes a foundation that nothing external can crack. And once discipline becomes identity, everything else becomes easier, not because life is easier, but because you are stronger. You no longer waste time negotiating with yourself. You no longer search for shortcuts or wait for the right mood. You simply do the work because that is who you are. You keep your promises because your identity requires it. You move forward because stopping is no longer an option you allow. This is the transformation most people never reach. The moment discipline evolves from an effort into a truth. The moment your habits become aligned with your future. The moment your inner world becomes stronger than your excuses. When you reach this point, you don't have to force strength anymore. You embody it. Chapter 5. Protect your focus in a world designed to distract you. If you want to build real strength, you must reclaim the one thing the world is constantly trying to steal from you: your focus. Without focus, it doesn't matter how big your goals are. It doesn't matter how smart, talented, or capable you are. If your attention is scattered, your life will be scattered. Strength requires depth, and depth requires focus. Distractions today don't feel dangerous. That's why they destroy so many people. They come quietly. A notification here, a quick scroll there, a few minutes lost to a habit you don't even remember choosing. You don't notice the damage at first. You tell yourself it's harmless. But every tiny distraction takes a piece of your attention, a piece of your presence, a piece of your potential. And over time, those pieces add up. Your ability to concentrate weakens, your momentum breaks, your confidence fades because days go by without real progress. Most people never realize this. Distraction is not just a habit, it's a weakening of the mind. You lose strength, not in big explosions, but in small leaks. Every unnecessary glance at your phone is a leak. Every time you switch tasks midway, it's a leak. Every moment you give your attention to noise instead of your purpose, it's a leak. Eventually, you wonder why you feel drained, unfocused, frustrated. It's because your energy is bleeding out in places that don't build you. If you want inner strength, you must become ruthless with your attention. Not everything deserves your eyes. Not every message deserves your immediate response. Not every piece of noise deserves space in your mental field. You must decide, with intention, what gets your mind and what doesn't. Because your mind is not a public playground. It is the foundation of your entire life. Focus is power. When your attention is held by one meaningful task, everything in you aligns. Your mind sharpens, your energy settles, your decisions become cleaner, your actions become efficient. You move with purpose instead of drifting through the day, hoping motivation will find you. Distraction, on the other hand, scatters your energy. It keeps you shallow. It keeps you reactive instead of intentional. It keeps you stuck in mental noise instead of building something real. The world is designed to keep you distracted, to keep you consuming instead of creating, to keep you entertained instead of evolving. Algorithms are built to hook you, not empower you. Notifications are built to interrupt you, not support you. And unless you take control of your focus, the world will take it for you. This is why your environment matters. If your space is full of clutter, noise, and temptations, your mind will be too. A chaotic environment feeds a chaotic mind. A clean environment feeds clarity. Remove what pulls you away. Put your phone in another room during deep work. Turn off unnecessary alerts. Clear your workspace. Design your environment to serve your goals, not sabotage them. You must also get clear on what deserves your focus each day. Not 10 things. Not everything at once. Just the 1 or 2 things that truly move your life forward. Strength comes from depth, not from scattering yourself across a dozen directions. Choose your priorities consciously. Give them your best energy, not your leftovers. And when you work, work fully. No half focus. No checking your phone. No jumping between tasks. Deep focus trains your mind the same way. Lifting weights trains your body. Every uninterrupted session builds mental muscle. Every time you stay with a task when your mind wants to wander, you grow stronger. Your mind will resist this at first. It has been conditioned by years of instant stimulation, constant switching, constant seeking of novelty. But resistance is part of the training. Each time you pull your attention back to the task, you are reclaiming your strength. Each time you finish what you start, you build trust in yourself. Each time you protect your focus, you increase your internal power. A focused mind is not normal. It is rare, and anything rare is valuable. Most people cannot focus for more than a few minutes without reaching for distraction. That is why they stay average. That is why they stay stuck. You are not here to live that way. You are here to build something meaningful, and meaning requires attention. Focus is not just a skill. It is a form of self-respect. It is the decision to treat your time, your energy, your mind as something precious. Because it is. Protect your focus like your future depends on it. Because it does. Chapter 6. Design your environment and energy for deep work. Strength is not built in chaos. You cannot expect your mind to be steady while your environment pulls you in 100 directions. You cannot expect deep focus to appear in a space filled with noise, clutter, and constant temptation. Your external world influences your internal world far more than you realize. If you want deep work, deep clarity, and deep strength, you must design the space and the energy that supports it. Most people don't fail because they lack discipline. They fail because their environment is designed for distraction. Their phone is within reach. Their workspace is messy. Their room is noisy. Their routine has no structure. Their day is shaped by whatever shows up, instead of what truly matters. And then they blame themselves for not being focused enough. When the truth is simple, no one can thrive in an environment that works against them. Your environment should be a mirror of your intentions. If you want clarity, create space. If you want focus, remove noise. If you want strength, eliminate what weakens you. Start with the physical. Clean your desk, clear your room, organize your tools, and remove anything that tempts you to drift instead of build. A clear space reduces mental friction. Your mind relaxes, your energy tightens, your focus sharpens. But environment is not only physical, it is energetic. Every sound you allow, every piece of media you consume, every conversation you tolerate, shapes the tone of your inner world. Some inputs expand you, some drain you, some sharpen your mind, some scatter it. Strong people curate their environment, like their life depends on it. Because it does. You must choose what enters your mental field with the same discipline you apply to your goals. This is why notifications must be controlled. Your phone is not your master. Every alert is an invisible hand pulling your attention away from what matters. Turn them off. Put the device away during deep work. Don't allow your mind to be hijacked by the noise of the world. Protect your mental space with the same intensity you protect your time. Then, structure your environment for deep work. Have a designated place where you build. A space that signals to your brain, here, we focus. Your mind responds to cues more than you think. When you repeatedly work in the same environment, your brain begins associating that space with deep focus. Entering it becomes a switch. You sit down, and your mind knows exactly what to do. Next, create time boundaries. Block out segments of your day where you are unreachable. No messages, no calls, no noise, just you and your work. Strength grows in these uninterrupted pockets of time. Deep work is where your best ideas form, your skills sharpen, and your confidence builds. When you work deeply, you enter a state where your thoughts align, your actions flow, and your energy becomes concentrated rather than diluted. Deep work is also a training of your nervous system. The more you allow your mind to stay with a single task, the more your system learns to settle. The anxiety caused by constant switching decreases. Your ability to immerse increases. Your mental endurance grows. This is how you become someone who doesn't break under pressure. Because you've trained your mind to stay steady even in discomfort. And do not underestimate the power of subtraction. Most people try to add more productivity tools, more goals, more tasks. But strength often comes from removing distractions, removing noise, removing unnecessary commitments, removing anything that scatters your mind. Subtraction is clarity. Clarity is strength. Finally, align your energetic environment. Your space should feel calm, intentional, uncluttered. Your mind absorbs the atmosphere you live in. If your surroundings are chaotic, your thoughts will be too. But when your environment supports your purpose, clean space, minimal noise, intentional design, your thoughts settle, your emotions stabilize, and your energy becomes sharp. Strong people don't hope for better focus. They engineer it. They shape their environment to reflect the life they want to build. They design their day with intention instead of reacting to whatever arrives. They remove what pulls them away. They amplify what pulls them forward. When you control your environment, you control your mind. When you control your mind, you control your life. Design the space that builds you. Design the energy that supports you. Design the environment where your strength can grow without resistance. Chapter 7. Transform pain into fuel instead of escape. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the invitation. It is the weight that builds you, the fire that strengthens you, the pressure that shapes you. Nothing powerful is created without it. Yet most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid pain, numb pain, escape pain. They look for shortcuts, distractions, quick comforts, anything that allows them to step away from the discomfort that is meant to grow them. Strength is built in the exact moments most people run from. The moment the workout feels heavy, the moment the task feels overwhelming, the moment the conversation feels difficult, the moment the emotion feels sharp, the moment the path feels unclear. Most people escape. Strong people stay. The instinct to run from pain is ancient. It is wired into your biology. But inner strength is not biological. It is trained. It is forged. It is a conscious decision to stay present inside discomfort instead of abandoning yourself the moment tension rises. When discomfort appears, your old patterns will try to take over. You'll want the easy release, the distraction, the avoidance, the excuse that lets you step away and call it self-care. But avoiding pain does not protect you. It weakens you. It teaches your mind that you cannot handle discomfort, and that lie becomes a prison. But when you stay, when you breathe, when you focus, when you move forward with clarity, you retrain your entire inner world. Your nervous system learns that discomfort is survivable. Your emotions learn that intensity does not equal danger. Your mind learns that fear does not have authority over your direction. Pain becomes a teacher instead of a threat. The truth is simple. Pain reveals who you are. When everything is easy, anyone can look strong. When life breaks open, your real identity is exposed. Strength is not built during the calm seasons. Strength is built when you are tired, discouraged, uncertain, and you still show up. The moment you stop searching for an escape, you begin to rise. Because pain has a purpose. It interrupts your patterns, exposes your weaknesses, highlights what you've avoided, and forces you to face the parts of your life that need to evolve. Pain is the catalyst that transforms you, if you allow it to. Every time you stay with pain, instead of running from it, something inside you expands. Your tolerance increases, your fear decreases, your clarity sharpens. You begin to trust yourself because you've proven that you can handle what you once believed would shatter you. There are two kinds of pain: destructive pain and constructive pain. Destructive pain is the kind you feel when you betray yourself. Procrastination, avoidance, neglect, dishonesty, self-sabotage. Constructive pain is the discomfort of growth, effort, discipline, vulnerability, truth, pressure, responsibility. One weakens you, one strengthens you. Most people live in the first and avoid the second. Stop fearing the pain that builds you. Start fearing the pain that keeps you the same. When you breathe through discomfort, instead of escaping it, your nervous system begins to settle. You become someone who can stay calm in intensity. You stop collapsing every time life becomes heavy. You stop interpreting pressure as danger. You stop confusing fear with intuition. The storm becomes manageable because you are no longer fighting it. You are walking through it with full presence. The people who grow, advance, and rise are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who use it. They let pain sharpen them. They let struggle increase their awareness. They let setbacks teach them resilience. They let pressure strengthen their emotional stability. They let the fire burn away their weaknesses, but not their will. This is what transformation requires. You stop running. You stop numbing. You stop distracting. You stop abandoning yourself when it gets hard. You stand up. You stay present. You let the discomfort pass through you without determining your decisions. And with every painful moment you endure without escape, your inner strength multiplies. You become less reactive, less fearful, less breakable. Your mind becomes calm in places where it used to panic. Your energy becomes grounded in moments where it used to scatter. Your confidence rises because you've survived what once felt unbearable. Pain is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to grow. It is the threshold you cross to become someone you never imagined you could be. Face it. Feel it. Learn from it. Transform through it. Do not run from the fire. Walk through it. And watch yourself become the person the fire cannot burn. Chapter 8. Stay calm in the middle of stress and storms. Stress is a constant part of life. It arrives without warning, interrupts your rhythm, pressures your mind, and challenges your stability. Most people collapse under stress, not because the challenge is too big, but because their mind has never been trained to stay calm inside chaos. Calm is not the absence of stress. It is the mastery of it. It is the ability to remain steady while everything around you shifts. Anyone can be peaceful when life is smooth. Strength is measured when it isn't. When deadlines tighten, when relationships strain, when uncertainty rises, when nothing goes according to plan. These are the moments that test your inner foundation. If your mind falls apart every time life becomes unpredictable, then life, not you, is in control. But when you train your mind to stay calm under pressure, you become dangerous in the best way. You think clearly. You act precisely. You choose wisely. You stay in control because you do not hand the steering wheel to panic. Calm is not a personality trait. It is a skill. It is a discipline. It is a muscle built through repetition. You train calm in small moments, in traffic, when someone annoys you, when a conversation gets tense, when frustration spikes, when things don't happen fast enough. Every small moment becomes an opportunity to teach your nervous system a new pattern. I stay steady. I do not react. I respond. Most people react instantly to stress. Their breath shortens. Their thoughts race. Their emotions surge. They try to fix everything in one moment, and that urgency becomes the reason they break. But the truth is this: most of the damage created under stress comes from the reaction, not from the stress itself. Pause before responding. Breathe before deciding. Observe before acting. Slowness under pressure is strength. Calm also requires subtraction. Your mind cannot stay centered if your life is filled with noise. Too many people overstimulate their mind from the moment they wake up, reaching for their phone, scrolling endlessly, consuming information without intention. Their mind never gets silence, never gets space. A noisy life creates a noisy mind, and a noisy mind cannot stay calm under stress. Protect your peace. Reduce unnecessary noise. Create pockets of silence in your day. Your mind must learn how to rest so it can learn how to stay steady. When stress hits, your body gives you signals. Your breathing rises to your chest. Your shoulders tighten. Your thoughts start imagining worst-case scenarios. This is your cue. Not to panic, but to come back to yourself. Breathe deeper. Slow your pace. Bring your awareness into the present moment. The more you do this, the more your nervous system learns that it doesn't need to fire alarms every time something goes wrong. Calm is physical before it becomes mental. Your thoughts follow your breath. Your emotions follow your thoughts. Your actions follow your emotions. Control the breath, and the rest begins to realign. and what you say to yourself during stress matters. Most people make their situation worse with their internal dialogue. This is too much. I can't handle this. Everything is falling apart. These words add panic to pressure. Replace them with truth. I have handled difficult things before. I will do this one step at a time. I control my response. Your mind listens to you. It follows your tone. It reflects your language. Speak calmly, and you create calm. Understand this. Calm does not mean passive. Calm does not mean soft. Calm does not mean you feel no fear. Calm means you refuse to let fear make your decisions. Calm means your power stays intact under pressure. Calm means you hold yourself steady when others lose control. This is leadership, not a title, but a way of carrying yourself. People notice calm, they feel it, they trust it, because calm is rare. Over time, as you train this ability, calm becomes your default. You stop reacting impulsively. You stop catastrophizing every setback. You stop assuming the worst before you see the truth. You move with clarity, even in uncertainty. You make decisions from stability, not from panic. When calm becomes your baseline, stress loses its ability to control you. Life will not get easier, but you will get stronger. And when your mind is steady, no challenge can throw you off your path. You think sharper, you act smarter, you recover faster, you rise deeper. This is how strong people move through storms, not by avoiding them, but by staying centered while they pass. Train your calm, protect your calm, live from your calm, because the world cannot break a person who remains steady inside. Chapter 9. Speak ruthless truth to yourself with compassion. The hardest conversations you will ever have are the ones you have alone. The conversations where you drop every excuse, every soft lie, every story you've rehearsed to protect your comfort. Strength begins the moment you stop running from your own truth, not the polished truth you share with others, not the convenient truth you tell yourself to feel better. The real truth, the one that stings, confronts, and exposes the gap between who you say you are and how you actually live. Most people avoid this kind of honesty because it feels uncomfortable. It threatens their identity. It forces them to face the responsibilities they've been postponing for years. But avoiding truth does not protect you. It weakens you. Lies, even the quiet internal ones, drain energy. They fracture your inner world. They create a split between what you want and what you do, between what you believe and how you behave. That internal split is the source of so much confusion, exhaustion, and stagnation. Strength requires alignment, and alignment requires truth. When you look at your life without filters, you reclaim your power. You see clearly where you are falling short, where you're hiding, where you're wasting time, where you're settling for less than you're capable of. You see the patterns that repeat, the habits that cost you, the behaviors that break trust with yourself. And once seen, they can no longer control you silently. Truth breaks illusions, and illusions are where weakness grows. Ask yourself the hard questions. Am I doing what I said I'd do? Did I give my best today? Am I living the life I claim I want? Where am I letting myself down? Most people never ask these questions because they fear the answers, but the answers are the doorway to strength. The truth you avoid becomes the cage you live in. The truth you face becomes the path you walk out. When you admit, I've been avoiding the work, you create space for discipline. When you admit, I'm wasting too much time, you create space for structure. When you admit, my habits don't match my goals, you create space for change. When you admit, I haven't been honest with myself, you create space for alignment. Truth is not about punishment. It is about liberation. There is a reason speaking truth to yourself feels powerful. It creates coherence. Your mind, your emotions, your actions begin to point in the same direction. The internal noise quiets. The confusion dissolves. You stop fighting yourself because there is nothing left to hide from. Truth brings order to your inner world, but truth must be paired with compassion. Ruthless honesty without compassion becomes self-attack, and self-attack kills growth. The purpose of truth is not to shame you. It is to wake you. It is to bring clarity, not self-destruction. It is the calm voice inside that says, I can do better, and I will. This is the tone of strength. When you practice daily honesty, clean, courageous, direct honesty, your confidence rises. Because confidence is built on self-trust, and self-trust is built on truth. You begin to rely on yourself. You stop needing external validation. You stop needing people to call you out, because you call yourself out. You hold yourself to the standard you know you are capable of. Most people surround themselves with people who comfort them, not challenge them. They want to be told they're doing fine. They want to be told their excuses are valid. They want to be told they're trying their best, even when they're not. But that comfort keeps them small. That comfort keeps them repeating the same cycles. True strength demands you become your own challenger. The one who sees through the excuses. The one who refuses to let yourself settle. Truth brings freedom. Freedom from denial. Freedom from self-deception. Freedom from the stories that keep you repeating your past. Truth is the foundation of transformation. Without it, everything you build will crack. Make truth a daily ritual. At the end of each day, ask yourself, where did I rise today? Where did I avoid? What did I ignore? What deserves my attention tomorrow? Celebrate your progress. Admit your slip. Adjust your direction. This balance keeps you grounded, focused, and honest. The more you practice truth, the less you fear it. The more you face your patterns, the more control you gain over them. The more you take responsibility, the more powerful you become. Because the person who speaks truth to themselves cannot be shaken by the world. They do not collapse under pressure because they've already confronted their own shadows. They do not break when challenged because they no longer lie about who they are. They stand firm because their inner world is clean, aligned, and coherent. Strength begins with truth. Truth begins with you. And once you master it, nothing inside you or outside you can stop your rise. Chapter 10. Break the habits that weaken you and build the routines that make you unstoppable. Your life is built from the small decisions you repeat every day, not the big goals you dream about, not the promises you make at midnight, but the habits you live out when no one is watching. Strength is not something you suddenly become. It is something you train through your routines. And weakness is not something you are born with. It is something you reinforce through the patterns you refuse to change. If your habits are weak, your results will always be weak. If your routines are chaotic, your life will always feel chaotic. If your days have no structure, your identity will have no foundation. Most people fall because of the habits they tolerate, not the challenges they face. Bad habits do not appear loudly. They creep in quietly. Skipping the gym. Just this once. Sleeping in for a few extra minutes. Scrolling for only 5 more seconds. Saying, I'll do it tomorrow, and pretending you mean it. These tiny moments accumulate until suddenly your life is shaped not by your intentions, but by your indifference. Weak habits rob your time. They drain your energy. They lower your standards. They destroy your momentum. They take pieces of your potential, one small decision at a time. If you want strength, you must break the patterns that weaken you. Not someday, but now. Clarity begins with honesty. What habits are stealing your life? What routines leave you tired instead of empowered? What patterns keep you repeating the same frustrations? Do not justify them. Do not minimize them. Do not hide from them. Face them with clean awareness. Because anything you refuse to face, you cannot change. Breaking a bad habit is not about willpower. It is about environment, friction, and design. If your phone is the problem, don't rely on self-control. Remove it from your reach during your peak hours. If your mornings slip away from you, don't hope for discipline. Create a morning structure that is non-negotiable. If your nights make you unproductive, set a hard cutoff time for stimulation and treat it with the seriousness of a promise. Make the habits you want to break harder to do. Make the habits you want to build easier to do. This is how you shift your behavior without burning yourself out. But breaking is only half the process. You must replace. You cannot simply delete a habit. The mind needs a new path to follow. Replace mindless scrolling with a short walk. Replace late nights with wind-down rituals. Replace chaos with clarity. Replace drifting with direction. Habits shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes your entire life. Strong habits turn you into someone you can rely on. Weak habits turn you into someone you constantly disappoint. That is why discipline is not punishment. It is identity building. It is you choosing who you will be, not who your impulses want you to become. Begin with small commitments. Wake up at the same time. Drink water first thing. Make your bed. Move your body. Write down your priorities before the day takes control of you. These small actions matter not because they are impressive, but because they are consistent. Consistency builds self-respect. Self-respect builds confidence. Confidence builds strength. Do not attempt to change everything at once. That leads to rebellion and collapse. Choose one habit to remove and one routine to build. Master those. Then, expand. Progress grows from momentum, not from overwhelm. And when you slip, because you will, do not throw everything away. One bad moment does not require a bad day. One bad day does not require a bad week. Weak people let a slip become a spiral. Strong people course correct immediately. Strength is not perfection. Strength is recovery. Your routines shape the story you live in. A chaotic routine creates a chaotic life. A disciplined routine creates a powerful life. Your habits determine whether you rise, whether you stagnate, or whether you slowly fall into a future you never intended. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to change. Stop waiting for motivation to return. Stop lying to yourself that you'll do better later. Your life is happening now. Your future is being decided now. Your habits are casting votes for who you will become. Now. Choose habits that honor your potential. Choose routines that build your strength. Choose structure over chaos, purpose over impulse, growth over comfort. Because the person who controls their habits controls their destiny. Chapter 11. Stand unbroken when life applies pressure. There will come moments when life feels unbearably heavy, moments when pressure tightens around you like a vice, when fear speaks louder than reason, when everything you counted on begins to shake. These are not the moments you choose, but they are the moments that shape you. Pressure is not here to destroy you. Pressure is here to expose you, strengthen you, and reveal the depth of power you didn't know you had. Anyone can stand tall when the path is clear and the sun is gentle. Strength is revealed in storms. Pressure and fear are not signs you're failing. They are signs you're being stretched into a new level of yourself. They are signals that something meaningful is on the line. Pressure only exists where importance exists. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't feel it. So instead of resisting pressure, learn to recognize it as a marker of significance. Most people crumble, not because they are incapable, but because they misinterpret pressure as danger. They think fear means stop. They think stress means turn back. They think discomfort means this isn't for you. But fear is simply your system alerting you to expansion. Pressure is simply your mind learning to operate at a higher capacity. When you stop running from pressure, you learn to harness it. Strength is not built by escaping hard moments. Strength is built by meeting them fully, breathing through the intensity, and holding your ground with clarity. Pressure tests your character. Fear tests your commitment. Discomfort tests your identity. When life feels heavy, your old patterns will try to pull you back. Self-doubt, hesitation, overthinking, avoidance. But these patterns have no authority unless you obey them. Fear can speak, but it cannot force. Pressure can push, but it cannot decide. You choose how you respond. Understand this. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision that fear does not get to lead. Most people wait for fear to disappear before they act. That day never comes. Strong people act with fear present. They move forward even when their hands shake. They show up even when their chest tightens. They take the next step even when the outcome is unclear. That is what makes them strong. Not the lack of fear, but the refusal to surrender to it. Standing firm does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it is silent. Sometimes it is subtle. Sometimes it is a single breath, a single choice, a single step. But these small acts of endurance build a massive internal foundation over time. Pressure reveals your patterns. When something unexpected happens, do you panic? Do you shut down? Do you seek escape? Or do you breathe deeply, gather yourself, look at the situation with clarity, and respond with intention? This response pattern determines the trajectory of your life far more than your plans or your goals. Because life will interrupt your plans. It will test your conviction. It will give you moments that seem unfair, unpredictable, overwhelming. In those moments, strength does not mean pretending you feel nothing. Strength means you refuse to be moved by what you feel. You can feel fear without collapsing. You can feel pressure without breaking. You can feel uncertainty without losing your center. This is emotional mastery, not suppression, but sovereignty. When the weight builds slowly over time, when stress accumulates, when progress feels invisible, when fatigue begins to whisper that it's easier to quit, those are the moments when your endurance is forged. Anyone can sprint when the road is short. Strength is built in the long stretch, the stretch where discipline must replace motivation, where clarity must replace emotion, where commitment must replace comfort. Standing firm is not about dramatic heroism. It is about consistency under weight. It is about waking up on the days you feel nothing and still doing what matters. It is about showing up when your emotions scream for escape. It is about holding your values steady when fear tries to bargain with your logic. And something profound happens each time you refuse to collapse under pressure. You start to trust yourself. You realize you are not as fragile as you once believed. You begin to see that storms cannot break a grounded soul. Every time you endure, you expand. Every time you stand firm, you evolve. Every time you move forward, despite fear, you reclaim your power. The strongest people you know are not fearless. They are simply practiced at standing. They have learned that fear can walk beside them, but cannot talk for them. They have learned that pressure may test them, but cannot define them. They have learned that they do not need perfect conditions, only a steady mind and a determined heart. Remember this: you are not here to crumble. You are not here to shrink. You are not here to retreat into comfort. You are here to rise. You are here to lead yourself. You are here to become the kind of person who cannot be shaken by life. Stand firm, even when fear is loud, even when pressure is heavy, even when the path feels uncertain, because every time you stand, you build a version of yourself that nothing outside you can break. Chapter 12. Move forward when motivation disappears completely. There will be days when you wake up and feel absolutely nothing. No spark, no excitement, no drive, no motivation. The fire that once pushed you forward will feel dim, silent, almost unreachable. Your mind will search for energy that isn't there. Your heart will feel quiet. Your body will feel heavy. And this is the moment where most people stop. They assume something is wrong. They assume they need inspiration before they can act. They assume motivation is the engine, when in truth, it was never meant to be. Motivation is a visitor, not a resident. It comes and goes. It rises and fades. It cannot be trusted to carry the weight of your future. If your progress depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Strength belongs not to the most motivated, but to the most committed. The real test begins when the feeling disappears. This is where the separation happens. Between those who dream and those who build. Between those who hope and those who act. Between those who talk and those who transform. When motivation is gone, the only thing that remains is your decision. And the strongest people in the world have trained themselves to act from decision, not emotion. You must learn to move without the spark. You must learn to act without the feeling. You must learn to choose progress, even when your heart feels flat. This is not coldness. This is mastery. This is the moment you shift from being controlled by your inner weather to being led by your inner compass. A compass does not change because the day feels heavy. A compass does not wait for inspiration. A compass points to the direction, and you move. Your habits, your standards, your systems, these are the real engines of your growth. They are steady. They are reliable. They do not disappear when you are tired. They do not fold when you lack energy. They carry you when motivation abandons you. Most people confuse desire with discipline. They think wanting something is enough. They think passion alone will sustain them. But passion burns out. Desire fluctuates. Motivation fades. Discipline is the bridge between wanting and becoming. On the days you feel nothing, your power is the highest. Because choosing to act in that emptiness is what builds an identity that does not collapse. That is the moment your character forges itself. That is the moment you rise above the emotional noise and step into intentional living. Start small. Not because the action is insignificant, but because it proves something to your mind. I am still in control. A single page read. A short workout completed. A task started even without inspiration. These small moments rebuild your momentum. Momentum is not magic. Momentum is the reward for showing up when your feelings told you not to. Waiting for motivation is a trap, a beautiful, comfortable trap that tells you to postpone your life until you feel ready. But you will rarely feel ready. You will rarely feel inspired on command. You will rarely wake up with the same fire every day. Your future cannot depend on a feeling. Your goals are too important to be optional. Your future self deserves more than your moods. Your life demands more than your comfort. When you choose action without motivation, something powerful happens inside you. Your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as fragile. You stop seeing yourself as inconsistent. You stop seeing yourself as someone who needs the perfect conditions to move forward. You become someone who leads yourself. And once you cross that line, life becomes different. You are no longer waiting. You are building. You are no longer hoping. You are shaping. You are no longer controlled by your inner climate. You have become the one who sets the temperature. There will be days where progress feels invisible. Days where everything feels slow. Days where you question if your efforts matter. But these days matter the most. Because they train durability. They train consistency. They train emotional endurance. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Keep your vision in front of you. Not for excitement, but for direction. Not for hype, but for clarity. Not for inspiration, but for alignment. Think about where your life goes if you stop now. Think about the strength you build when you move anyway. Think about the future you create each time you push through a feeling of emptiness. Progress is not dramatic. It is built through quiet victories, silent days, non-motivated days, ordinary, heavy, unremarkable days where you still showed up. That is where true transformation comes from. Not from fire, but from consistency. Keep moving, even when you feel nothing, even when the spark is gone, even when the day feels dull, because the person who moves without motivation is the person who becomes unstoppable. Chapter 13. Live every day with intention, not automation. Most people are alive, but not truly living. They wake up, repeat the same motions, drift through hours they barely remember, and fall asleep wondering why nothing ever changes. Days blur into weeks, weeks blur into months, and without realizing it, they sleepwalk their way through the life they were meant to shape with purpose. Strength begins the moment you stop living on autopilot. A purposeful life does not happen accidentally. It is created, choice by choice, habit by habit, intention by intention. You do not need to know your entire future. You do not need a grand vision, written in perfect detail. You just need clarity in the present. Why am I doing what I'm doing today? When you live without intention, you become reactive. You respond to everything, commit to everything, chase everything, and lose yourself in the noise of endless stimulation. You confuse movement with progress. You confuse busyness with purpose. And at the end of the day, you feel tired but not fulfilled, because you've been spending your energy without direction. Living with intention means you stop letting the day happen to you. You shape it, you direct it, you lead it. It means waking up with a sense of meaning behind your actions, not just tasks on a list. It means choosing your priorities instead of letting convenience choose them for you. It means breaking away from the routines you inherited, the habits you fell into, and the expectations that never belonged to you. Ask yourself each morning, what matters today? What is essential? What deserves my full presence? Not everything deserves your time. Not everything deserves your energy. Not everything deserves your attention. Most people exhaust themselves, not because they do too much, but because they pour themselves into things that do not matter. Their life becomes diluted. Their energy becomes scattered. Their focus becomes fragile. Intention is the filter that protects you from wasting your life. Purpose is not found. It is created by choosing what matters and acting like it matters. Your days should not feel accidental. If you rest, rest with purpose. If you work, work with clarity. If you spend time with people you care about, be fully present. Half living is what drains people. Half resting, half working, half caring, half trying. Purpose eliminates the half effort and replaces it with fully engaged moments. Intention also means responsibility. No more blaming circumstances. No more waiting for a perfect moment. No more postponing your life until you feel ready. This is your life, your choices, your direction, your responsibility. Purpose anchors you. When life becomes chaotic, purpose returns you to center. When distractions rise, purpose cuts through the noise. When stress hits, purpose reminds you why you keep going. Without intention, you drift. With intention, you rise. You do not need massive goals to live with purpose. Purpose can be simple. Grow. Become better. Build what matters. Protect your peace. Sharpen your mind. Purpose can be quiet. It can be humble. It can be deeply personal. What matters is that it is yours, not borrowed from society, not copied from others, not imposed by expectation. When you start living with intention, decisions become easier. You say no to what drains you without guilt. You say yes to what aligns with you without hesitation. You stop comparing your life to others because you finally recognize the uniqueness of your path. Intention gives your life direction, and direction gives your life peace. Most people think peace comes from slowing down, from doing less, from avoiding challenge. But true peace comes from alignment, from knowing your actions match your values, your habits match your goals, your days match the life you say you want. Alignment is the real form of inner peace, and alignment happens when intention guides your life. Start small. Choose one thing each day that aligns with who you want to become. Build your day around that. Let it shape your choices, your energy, your attention. Over time, these intentional days become intentional weeks. Intentional weeks become intentional months. And intentional months build a powerful, purposeful life. You won't look back wondering where your time went. You'll know exactly where it went, because you directed it. Live on purpose. Live with intention. Do not drift. Do not sleepwalk through the life you were meant to build. Your strength grows every time you choose your day, instead of letting your day choose you. Chapter 14. Honor your energy and live in alignment with your true self. Strength isn't only built through discipline, effort, and persistence. It is also built through alignment, through the way you manage your energy, honor your limits, and live in harmony with your deeper inner rhythm. Most people burn out, not because they work too hard, but because they work against themselves. They force their energy into directions that don't match their values, their goals, or their true nature. Inner power comes from coherence, when your thoughts, actions, and intentions move in the same direction. When you live out of alignment, everything feels heavier. Tasks drain you. Days feel chaotic. You start questioning your abilities, your path, your identity. But the problem isn't you. It's the misalignment. You are using your energy for things that don't grow you, environments that don't support you, habits that don't reflect who you want to be. Strength requires listening to your inner signals. Your energy speaks long before your mind understands. You feel resistance where something is wrong. You feel heaviness where something drains you. You feel tightness where something is out of integrity. You feel clarity where something aligns. You feel expansion where something supports your growth. Most people ignore these signals. They push through misalignment because it's familiar. They stay in patterns that no longer serve them because they fear change. But ignoring your energy is self-betrayal, and self-betrayal is the fastest path to internal weakness. Alignment demands honesty. Where is your energy flowing naturally? Where is it being forced? Where do you feel alive? Where do you feel drained? Where do you feel guided? Where do you feel stuck? These are not random emotions. They are inner compasses. When you honor your energy, you build a life that supports your strength instead of draining it. This does not mean avoiding challenge. Growth requires challenge. But there is a difference between challenge that expands you and challenge that empties you. One strengthens your spirit. The other diminishes it. You must learn to recognize the difference. Alignment also requires boundaries. You cannot live powerfully if everything has access to you. Not every request deserves your time. Not every relationship deserves your energy. Not every opportunity deserves your attention. Strong people do not protect their time first. They protect their energy, because time without energy is useless. A day is worthless if your mind is scattered and your spirit is drained. Set boundaries not out of anger, but out of clarity. I choose what grows me. I protect what matters. I honor my limits. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Your energy is your life force. Your clarity is your compass. Your alignment is your path. When you choose alignment over approval, your confidence rises, because self-respect grows every time you choose yourself. You stop living for external validation. You stop shaping your decisions around fear of judgment. You stop sacrificing your inner world for outer expectations. You become solid inside, unmoved, centered, grounded. Living in alignment also means you become intentional about what you consume. Your mind is shaped by what enters it. Your emotions are shaped by what you allow. Your spirit is shaped by the environments you tolerate. You cannot build strength on a mental diet of noise, comparison, and distraction. Feed your mind with clarity. Feed your soul with quiet. Feed your purpose with action. And learn to rest, not escape, but rest. Rest that repairs you. Rest that restores your mind. Rest that renews your spirit. Not numbing yourself with mindless habits, but giving your nervous system space to breathe. When you rest intentionally, your strength multiplies. When you align your actions with your values, your confidence deepens. When you honor your energy, your clarity sharpens. This is how inner power grows, from the inside outward. You are not meant to push endlessly without awareness. You are not meant to live in chaos, noise, and misalignment. You are meant to move through life with clarity, intention, and inner coherence. Honor your energy. Respect your inner signals. Live in alignment with the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. Because when your energy, values, and direction align, you become unstoppable. Chapter 15. Build a life of progress through consistent, uncompromising action. Most people wait for their life to change. They wait for the right moment, the right feeling, the right opportunity. But life doesn't transform through waiting. It transforms through movement, through daily deliberate action that is aligned with who you want to become. not who you've been. Strength is not created in a single breakthrough. It is sculpted through consistent action that compounds over time. Progress is not magic. Progress is mathematics. Small actions, repeated consistently, create unstoppable momentum. The world is full of people who dream, who wish, who hope, who say, one day. Very few take the steps. Very few follow through. Very few commit not for a week, not for a month, but for as long as it takes. If you want to build a strong inner world, you must become one of the few. Consistency is the foundation of identity. Every action you repeat is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. When you show up daily, even imperfectly, you build proof. Self-trust grows. Confidence grows. Inner stability grows. The external results are just a reflection of that inner evolution. But consistency is not glamour. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not exciting every day. Consistency is quiet. Consistency is steady. Consistency is devotion. It is you doing what matters, even when the world is noisy. It is you keeping promises to yourself, even when you're tired. It is you returning to your purpose even when no one sees your effort. Strong people are not the most talented. They are the most consistent. They do not rely on mood. They do not require external validation. They do not collapse when progress is slow. They understand that progress is a long road with short steps. But consistency requires clarity. You cannot move forward if you're unsure which direction matters. You cannot stay consistent if your actions are scattered across 10 priorities. Choose one direction and move. Choose what matters most and commit. Choose the next step and take it. Progress accelerates when you simplify. You do not need to overhaul your entire life at once. You only need to be a little better today than you were yesterday. You only need to do one thing that moves your life forward. Those tiny steps accumulate, and over time, they become a transformation that looks sudden to others, but was forged quietly through daily effort. Strong people understand something most people never realize. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about recovery. What ruins people is not the mistake. It's the spiral that follows. They miss a day and decide the week is ruined. They slip once and decide to start over next month. They let temporary failure turn into permanent defeat. Strong people break that cycle. They correct quickly. They return immediately. They do not negotiate with their excuses. They do not attach meaning to a slip. They treat consistency like a muscle, one that must be maintained, trained, and protected. You will not always have perfect streaks, but you must always return. Returning is where strength is built, and consistency must be sustainable. Burning yourself out is not discipline, it's self-sabotage. Pace matters, structure matters, rest matters, strategy matters. The goal is not intensity, the goal is longevity. The life you want is not built through one extreme push. It is built through months and years of reliable action. And consistency is amplified by clarity of identity. Ask yourself daily, who am I choosing to be today? Are my actions aligned with my highest self? What would the strongest version of me do right now? Identity drives behavior. Behavior creates results. Results reinforce identity. This loop is the engine of transformation. Every day you act in alignment with the person you want to become. That identity grows stronger. Every day you break your old patterns. The old identity weakens. You are rewriting yourself one decision at a time. Consistency is not only about doing, it is about becoming. It's about choosing your future self over your temporary impulses, choosing discipline over doubt, choosing growth over comfort, choosing alignment over distraction. When you commit to consistent action, you build a life that rises, not in leaps, but in layers, a life that strengthens quietly, a life that becomes unshakable because it was built with unwavering intention. Keep moving. Keep showing up. Keep choosing the small, meaningful actions that build the life you want. Consistency is not the path to strength. Consistency is strength. Conclusion. The quiet power that remains. Strength is not something you find someday. It is something you build through the way you think, act, and show up every single day. It grows quietly, in your discipline, your honesty, your focus, your ability to move forward when you feel nothing, your refusal to run from discomfort, and your commitment to live with intention instead of autopilot. Real strength is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's the silent decisions you make when no one is watching. Choosing responsibility over excuses, truth over comfort, presence over distraction, calm over chaos. It's the way you hold your ground when life becomes heavy, the way you take the next step when motivation disappears, the way you stay aligned with your values even when fear tries to pull you away. Every chapter you've walked through points toward one truth. Inner strength is built, not granted. It is earned through consistent, deliberate action, through showing up on ordinary days, through doing the work that doesn't get applause, through practicing the mindset you want to embody. You don't need perfection to become strong. You need commitment. You need clarity. You need the courage to face yourself honestly, and the discipline to follow through, even when your emotions resist. Your life will change not because of one dramatic moment, but because of the thousands of small choices you make from this point forward. Choices that reflect who you want to become, not who you used to be. Nothing outside you is stronger than what you can build inside you. You are not here to collapse. You are here to rise, with intention, with discipline, with truth, with purpose. Begin now. Stay consistent, and do not stop. If this audiobook gave you even one moment of clarity, share it with someone who might need the same pause. And subscribe so next time, calm finds you first.